Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. I am Coach Lorianne, America's #1 take action success coach and strategist, empowering, educating, inspiring, and igniting people to take action with jet propulsion. We assist people to find and embrace their life purpose, live their highest vision, become the next best version of themselves, forging a strong foundation to soar to success. For more information about how to work with me and my team, please visit us at ldcstrategies.com. Our goal here at Healthy Lifestyle is to empower minds, educate hearts, inspire action, and ignite success so you can choose to have a fulfilled, healthy, emotional, spiritual, and physical life, to live the life you have always wanted and dreamed. And we do so by bringing individuals and different things that they do, so you really recognize and understand who's out there doing things that you may be interested in either learning about or becoming part of. So welcome to the show today. I hope everything is going well for you. We are great here at Healthy Lifestyle, just back from a really great vacation, really enjoying our time back here on the radio. So I hope you didn't miss us on Healthy Lifestyle. Of course, we're going to give you some verbal caffeine to light you up with possibilities. And today on our show, we are going to light you up because we have my dear friend, Terrie Magro from the Michael Magro Foundation on with us. And Terrie is an RN whose career has spanned since 1975. You'd never know it by looking at her. She was 5 when she started. From clinical nursing management, teaching for a short time in an undergraduate nursing program at Adelphi, to medical sales and physical liaison. In 2005, her career expanded to philanthropy and started at 501c3, the Michael Magro Foundation, which is near and dear to my heart. I absolutely love this foundation for so many reasons you're going to find out. The foundation was born as a result of her boys being diagnosed with cancer in 2004. Mark had Hodgkin's lymphoma and was diagnosed the day before his 11th birthday on 3/17/2004. Michael was diagnosed with leukemia on 6/8/2004 and passed away on 7/31/2004. Her passion and drive through the journey has helped her help people in need. And she saw and lived firsthand how your bills mount up and your salary decreases. And they work with social workers to vet the families that they assist at the Michael Magro Foundation. And they assist by paying household bills, such as rent, mortgage, utility, car payments, all things like that, as well as outstanding non-covered medical and pharmacy expenses. This foundation is amazing. It fills a gap that families going through this with children with cancer, they don't have time to be focused on things like bills when they should be spending time with their family. And Terrie, welcome to the show. I'm so glad that you stepped out, and you could have just stopped and not done anything. And you made a choice not to do that. Welcome to the show. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you so much, Lorianne. It's a pleasure, and I appreciate the time and giving us the opportunity to spread our mission and vision. So thank you.
I just love your mission. I love your vision. It's so heart-centered. You're so fierce in such a compassionate, kind way. I love watching you when you're working your foundation, but I also know that it comes from a place of the heart. So deep. So help our listeners understand. So you went through this experience, which was not at all easy in any way, sense of the words. What made you then take this next step to create a foundation in Michael's honor?
So, Lori, as we go through life, you have many different jobs, and you're not always sure what those jobs are going to yield as time goes on. So as you mentioned, I started clinically and then went into sales. So in the sales part of it, which was probably 25, 30 years worth of my career, I learned a lot from the people I worked with in the hospitals that we supported in the sales capacity. It was medical, durable medical supplies, pharmaceutical, things of that nature. And so these people would always have galas and they would have fundraising events, these hospitals, of which I was unfamiliar with. So when I was working for a company in Belmore, they had said to me, listen, we're more than happy to help your clients and support them with, attending an event or taking a journal ad. But Tag, you're it. We want you to get involved with the organization, the hospital, and figure out exactly what's going on and where the money goes. And I'm like, okay, I have zero experience with this, but yeah, I'll give it a whirl. So my first experience was with Hospice Care Network of all places. It was a phenomenal experience, and they had me on their golf committee and their gala committee. So I learned a lot over the quite a few years that I was part of it about fundraising. So when the boys got sick, and I was, being a nurse, you're on one side of the table, but now on the other side, I never really realized what happens, the dynamics of the family and money, etc. But now I'm listening to all these people saying, oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent. I had to take a leave of absence. I had to leave my job. I got let go, this, that, or the other thing. I'm a single parent. And I'm like, wow, this is really crazy. I was very fortunate because my boss allowed me to work through the whole thing. I was a salesperson for a national company. So I traveled a lot. He was like, just take your laptop and stay at the hospital. I don't care what you do, but you're not resigning. So I didn't lose that income. Paul didn't lose his income. He had the health benefits. But when I listened to all of these people, the toll that it took on everybody was ridiculous because they could not focus, as you said, on their sick child. All they could focus on was that they may be losing their house. Their car was being repossessed. The lights were being turned off because they were so far behind in the payments for everything.
On top of dealing with having their child terminally ill. And
Exactly.
and so you have all these emotions going through. You have this financial burden on top of that. Layer that with not knowing if you're going to have a roof over your head for the rest of your family, probably managing other children as well and other family members, and
Exactly.
so the layers are ever so deep.
Right. Exactly. And I said, as we journeyed and Michael passed, I had said to Paul, I said, Paul, listen, we have to do something to help these people. I can't just sit back. It's not my personality. So, as a nurse, you're very giving and, you're into helping people to begin with. So I said, I'm going to hone in on those skills that were kind of in the back of the brain there some way I call fundraising. And I'm going to start a nonprofit. And he was like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but go for it. I'm right behind you.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. I reached out to attorneys that are friends and accountants, and we started the whole thing. We put a board together. And I went to the hospitals and I said, listen, this is what we're going to do. And we're going to help families. We're not really interested in brick and mortar. I'm not going to be involved in research funding. I want to just help the families because these families are struggling to the point where the family dynamic and the whole unit is falling apart.
Yeah.
So that was the start of the whole thing. And being so involved in hospitals and understanding how they work, I went right to the social workers in pediatric oncology and sat with quite a few of them from the 3 hospitals on Long Island where we started, which was Cohen Children's, Stony Brook, and Winthrop at the time, the Cancer Center for Kids, now NYU Langone. And I said, this is what I want to do. Help me understand what you go through on a daily basis with these families. And so they were like stunned and they said, wow, nobody really thinks about the family. They just think about helping the research side of it.
Mhm.
So I was embraced immediately by the social workers, and we decided that they would identify the families because they knew what the financial status was. There is no financial requirements. Honestly, Lorianne, I don't care if you make 50,000 or 500,000. The playing field is very level when you
Yes.
have a child going through this kind of treatment. And I said to them, listen, you vet them. You give me a letter of justification financially, emotionally, and the fact that they're on treatment. That's really the basic requirement. It's pediatric and you're on treatment. And then scan me the bill. Scan me their mortgage, their rent, like you said before, the car insurance, their car payment, whatever it is. And we'll pay that direct to the vendor. And that's what we did. So we started, little by little with 2 or 3 hospitals, and then the word starts to spread.
Yes, of course.
Um, Yeah, and all of a sudden it was like a couple of hospitals. People leave one hospital, they go to another, and so with that they bring their information, and they would say, "Oh, you know what? You have to reach out to Terrie and the Michael Magro Foundation." There's not a lot of red tape with us, so I basically run the day-to-day portion of it. My entire board is volunteers, so no, there is no salaries connected to
And
us,
100%
and
of what you raise goes towards these families.
right, right. So it's like 90 cents on a dollar, actually, because there is some overhead. So, you have to pay. There's a lot of insurance that is involved with a nonprofit. So there are some basic, but it's like 10 cents on a dollar is what we allocate to these expenses because I'm not paying rent and I'm not paying salaries. So that's a big deal
That's
right there.
10%. And generally speaking, a lot of these big organizations, I won't mention any of them, but a lot of these big organizations have 40, 50, sometimes 60, 70% go to administration. And that's what you're talking, 10% for 10 cents out of every dollar goes to administrative fees, meaning insurance and any kind of overhead. And you've kept your overhead real low because you don't go brick and mortar. You didn't see any need for that. And I think that's great that you didn't do that for ego purposes or to put a name up on a building. You do it because you get to give more money to the families and you're coming from that heart center. I wanted to touch point on something that you had said that I have discovered amazing is that all my experiences throughout my life, if you put all of the tools I've learned throughout my life, it allows me to do what I do today as a coach, right? And that's what happened with you. All your life experiences, whether you knew it or not, culminated to help you do what you're doing absolutely today and absolutely well. And of course, listen, everything is a learning curve. When you do it for the first time, you're going to make some mistakes, you're going to have ups and downs. But you surrounded yourself with a great group of people who were just, Terrie, whatever you need. And I hear that when I'm around you from everybody, myself included, saying that to you, whatever you need, what do you need? How can we help you? You're a magnet for that. And I think it's because too, you are so heart-centered and sincere about what you're doing. So people feel that, people know that, and people gravitate to that positiveness that you bring, and that what you went through, and you're still thinking of other people, and that's what keeps you going. Did that help some of you and Paul? Did that help some of the healing?
100%. It really did because we had Mark. Mark was 11. He's the cancer survivor.
Right.
Um, he was going through so much. He had survivor guilt. He had so much going on emotionally. So physical changes in your body that you have to kind of deal with. So we knew that we had to do something. And again, I'm AAA personality, so I wasn't just going to
You
sit
Terry,
back.
stop.
Yeah, just a little. I wasn't going to just sit back when I saw the needs were so great, and it was a piece that I had never seen before in all my years of nursing and being involved in so many different clinical situations. But you see the patient, and the patient's your focus, and getting that person better, and you don't think about anything else or what the whole cascade of events is going on in their home.
Also, when
So
you're on that side of let's be fair, when you're on that side of the equation,
equation.
you don't have the resources, the time, or the bandwidth to address anything on the other side of that equation.
Right.
So it makes perfect sense. But because you went through it, and most great ideas, most foundations, most uh, opportunities come from something that we go through. And
Right.
when we see it and we decide to take action, which you did, you took action and started this non-for-profit. Didn't know what you were going to do, didn't know how you were going to do it. And now your foundation is so successful, so well known on Long Island. You bring up the Michael Magro Foundation, people know who you are. And it continues to grow. Like you said, the hospitals are now calling you.
Yes. Yeah. So we're actually in 9 states. So it's all pediatric oncology hospitals throughout.
Which
So we're
nine
up and
states?
down the Northeast coast. We're New York, New Jersey, Philly, Connecticut, Massachusetts. We jump over to Florida. Then we're on the West Coast in a couple of places in California, Oregon, Cleveland. And the word spreads because we're actually next year will be in our 20th year. So 2005 is when we became a 501c3. So 20 years is a testimonial to the people that donate as well as the people that help me run this. Because without the donations and without the people embracing the mission, we wouldn't be able to help these families. So, we're eternally grateful to every donation, whether it's $5 or 500 or 5,000. It all goes towards something. And
Now,
that's our thoughts.
yeah, now you said that there's a qualification that people have to go to, and how do you identify the families? Because I know that it's not income separatist, right?
Right.
So it doesn't matter if you make a gazillion dollars or $5, you're going to help these families. What are the requirements and qualification, and who makes that determination?
So the determination is really made by the social worker. They are the ones that identify the needs of the family. They're the ones that tell us basically, dad's unemployed, it's a single parent, there's 4 kids in the house, there's so much going on. And they identify what is happening and surrounding previously to the diagnosis as well as what's going on now currently. And the fact that they cannot make their payments and they're falling behind to the point where it's astronomical what some of these people owe at the end of the day. Rents and mortgages here on Long Island are expensive.
Yeah,
So you fall behind 3 months, you're looking at maybe $10,000 to $15,000 worth of bills. We are not large enough to be able to incorporate all of that to pay $15,000 up front to mortgage company ABC. But what we do and what the social workers do, because we have such a rapport with these people, is we'll work with other organizations to help. So on Long Island, and actually they're regional, I believe, Friends of Karen is a
sure.
big one that we do some work with. The Marty Lions Foundation we work with. They will pay, they're a lot larger than we are, so they will pay some of the larger expenses. And then what they'll do is pull out the PSEG bill, the Con Ed bill, the Geico bill, the Verizon bill, and send those to me. So we're at a point where we can spend $1,000 to $1,500 per family per request, and that request could have a couple of levels to it. It could be a PSEG bill and a Verizon bill, just as an example.
Right.
And then we'll pay those directly because maybe those two together are $1,000 or $1,500 or something like that. Parking is a big deal.
Oh my
You
gosh,
know,
I can't even believe it. When you have somebody sick in a hospital and you're going to go there day to day to day, the parking expense is ridiculous.
Oh, it's hundreds. I just wrote a check to a family for $337 for a few weeks worth of parking in one of the city hospitals. They're all the same. Whether you're parking, I don't care where you're parking, unless you're in Utah, maybe,
Yeah.
but you're parking anywhere. And so we, of course, work with the 3 major hospitals in the city, which is Memorial Sloan, Columbia Presbyterian, the NYP group, and NYU Hassenfeld. So those are our 6 hospitals between Manhattan and Long Island. But we touch on all of them. So we do a lot of gift cards to also help these families. So it's not just paying the bill, but they fall behind in everything. So now they need to put groceries on the table. They need to put gas in their car. It's all little things, a lot of Uber, because a lot of these people take public transportation to and from treatment. And so what are they getting on? They're getting on a subway, they're getting on a bus, they're getting on a train. They're immunosuppressant, these kids.
Yeah.
Their immune system is depleted, and now you're putting them on public transportation. It's counterintuitive to do these things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we buy a lot of Uber cards where at least they can have a mask on in the car, and it's just 1 or 2 people that are with the child, not a busload of people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
those things all add up.
Sure.
There are people traveling from Maine to come to Columbia or to NYU or to any of the larger tertiary hospitals, CHOP in Philadelphia, you name them. And they're traveling by car, which is crazy expensive between gas tolls and everything else, or they're taking Amtrak or something of that nature.
Yeah.
So it's these little things that add up. That's where the issue comes in, and that's where they start to fall really behind. And today is a little different than when we first started. A lot of insurance policies are high deductibles, and they have a place, and they're good when they're good until somebody gets sick. And then
Right.
that high deductible may be an out of pocket of 5 or 6 thousand, depending on the company and how the deductible's set up. But you have to outlay that out before the insurance company starts to reimburse. So that's on a credit card. And you may have had a hefty credit card or maybe not, but now you've got 5,000 on your credit card, which you're not used to, in
Yeah.
addition to everything else. So, we try to just help these people through. I'm not paying their credit card bills necessarily, but I can help them with their household bills so
Well,
they can pay the credit card bill.
yeah, every little thing helps because if you add all these extra unexpected costs on top of their normal expenses on a monthly basis with all the adjustments, add to that the emotional level that you're going through, it's hard to manage. And that's where I see families starting to break apart because they crack at the tension. At the frustration level. Yeah, Michael Magro Foundation.com is where they can go if they have some questions. When we come back, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, I really want to talk more about how you fundraise, because I think people listening may be interested in helping you out, in coming to your fundraisers, in helping supporting these families, because it goes directly to these families. It is not a big, huge organization that is paying staff. You have no payroll, none whatsoever. So the only fees that you take out are administrative fees that are things like setting up a 501c3 or carrying the insurance that the state and the federal governments require. So we're going to take a short break. You're listening to Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. I am Coach Lorianne. If you would like to be a guest or lift up your business product, not for profit, or you have a question or comment, please email us at healthylifestylewithLorianne@gmail.com. That's not right. It's healthylifestylewithLA@gmail.com. I got confused. Oh my gosh, Terry, you got me so verklempt here.
That vacation.
It was that vacation. You're absolutely right. HealthylifestylewithLA@gmail.com. We love to hear from you. I personally answer all the emails and look forward to speaking with you. And also you can find us on all the platforms. So please follow, like, and share us. This is great information for you to share with other people, especially about the Michael Magro Foundation. I'm so glad to have you today on, Terry, to be able to talk to us about your foundation, which I found out about, and we've been friends for a long time, and then you told me about your foundation, and I just fell in love. And I always felt like I wanted to make a more impactful donation. So to be able to donate to one organization in a more impactful way, as opposed to sending $20 to all these different organizations, that's another reason why I love your foundation, because I always say 100%, because at 10 cents on the dollar that you don't go, 90 cents for every dollar does go directly to the children and helping the children, and anything that's for the children, I'm all about. So again, michaelmagrofoundation.com. That's Magro. All the information and the links will be with this episode. So please, follow, share the Magro Foundation, because you do a lot of fundraising to raise the money so that you can
Yeah.
pay these bills. So the more money you have, the more families you can help. Before we go into that, because I do want to talk about that, I just want to talk about something that seemed obvious for me. When I was growing up, my sister she was considered mentally retarded. Now it's on the scale is what they say now. But it was very impactful on my life. It really affected my life a lot, because she would get a lot of attention, and I was the youngest one, and I had to take care of her because, mom needed help. And now I get to say I got to take care of her. Then it was I had to take care of her, right? But when you have someone in your family who needs more attention, it takes away from the other siblings, and that does impact self-esteem, and it impacts their mindset, and it impacts guilt. And so let's talk about the impact on the siblings when they have another sibling who's going through a health which is entirely different than what I went through, where they're struggling. They have a health situation which may be terminal in many cases.
Very true. It's a very big part of what we see and try to work with every single day. And I lived it as well, so I certainly know. The siblings are the ones that get kind of pushed around a little bit. They go into grandma's house, they're going here, they can't go there, they can't do this. That's the part that really affects the siblings, because
Yeah.
a lot of these diagnoses, and Michael's leukemia diagnosis, the treatment phase is 3 years, and then some, possibly. You don't really know. We treat cancer with chemotherapy, radiation when needed. And now there's so many other treatment courses that they use, but essentially it's a poison that we're treating these kids with, or treating adults with. It's the same thing. It can cause other effects. So sometimes you think you may be in something that's 6 months long, and it turns out to be, 6 years long. Now you have other children in your house, brothers and sisters of this child that's affected. And at the beginning, depending on their age, they understand a little bit. They're a little bit more, engaged with the child, and they feel bad. And my brother's got this, my sister has that. As the time goes on, it wears very thin.
Sure.
And so this is where the dynamic of the family unit starts to fall apart.
Yeah.
So we try very hard with social workers, but more like the child life specialists, which are professionally trained people that are in the hospitals and oncology settings for the children, that are trained. They're masters prepared, actually. They're music therapists, art therapists. They have a way about them that they can just sit and talk to the kids and get them to understand things. So working with them is another big part of what we do, the child life specialist. And they'll inform us of the siblings that are having issues. So then maybe we'll get them Starbucks cards, we'll give them PS5 cards, we'll do things age appropriate, arts and craft kits, things that are, that they want, or a card to Claire's for a girl that wants to buy, some fun things for herself, or it goes on and on. But the idea is they go and ask mom or dad for some money to do these things, and the answer is always no. And it's no because they're struggling trying to keep the lights on in the house. And now you want a $25 card to go to Starbucks. And
Yeah.
they're not doing it on purpose, but they really can't see their way clear. So when you're asking for these types of things, it's like, I can't, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to wait. I don't have the money this month. You have to wait for this. And then something else comes up. So we try to circumvent some of those feelings and have those things available, so that we buy gift cards, a couple of $1,000s worth of gift cards every month, and donate them to the social workers, child life specialist, locally. And then they distribute them as needed. I don't distribute them. I don't know who gets them, really. I just know that they're all part of the part of the hospital-based family unit that they're working with. And to be able to give that child even a $25 card, Panero's at one time was a bigger one, that makes the child feel so good, that they can do something. They want to be with their friends. The sick child wants to be back in the game, and the sibling just wants to be with their friends and have some sense of normalcy. So we
Yes.
try to bring that sense of normalcy. And that's where people can really help us a lot, with things like that, because it gets to be expensive, as you can well imagine, spending thousands of dollars on gift cards every month. It's not just for these things; it's for gas cards and Stop and Shop and Target and Walmart. Back to school. Back to school is a big thing. It's expensive to go back to school
Yes,
when
because
you're
now
outfitting.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're outfitting all these, not just outfits, but also now all the school supplies. And I
Oh
was
my
just told,
gosh.
I was just
Yeah.
told recently on the list are like basic things like toilet paper and paper towel and tissues. Now they're expected to bring that in. I was like, what are our taxes paying for? I need to go in there and financially find out what's going on in my school district where they're asking for these things. And I remember as a parent, half of the things on the list they never used. So I that always made me crazy. So I would only buy the obvious things, but still that takes time and money. And you got all these things to balance. I know I do I'm working with some hospitals now out east, and it is to do just that, to do mindset therapy with impacting siblings, to be able to just talk to them about success principles and just give them some tools to really work through it, that it's not about them. I know it impacted me very severely. Didn't realize it until I was older, but it makes a difference when mom
Yes.
says to you, hey, you know what? You're lucky you're not going through this like my sister was,
Mm.
right? Well, that's an honest statement from a parent's point of view, but from a child's point of view, poofa, that really leaves a resonating thing that I carried for years, feeling that I didn't matter, I wasn't enough. That's what I had heard. That was my takeaway as a small child. And it took a lot to get over something like that. So how we speak to the children while we're going through it is so important, and yet so difficult because you're trying to manage finances, you're trying to manage your own emotions, you're trying to be there for your child. Just so many, I keep saying it's levels and layers, but that's what it is. So everybody's just trying to do their best, so this kind of support is important, and being able to have those kind of gift cards. And I do a program with a group that I'm with. It's called Pay It Forward.
Mm.
And all they do is they buy gift cards. And they just leave it on people's windshields anonymously and leave as a surprise. We don't know what's going on in that person's household. We don't know how much they made. It doesn't matter. You just leave it and you run. Or you could do lottery tickets or something like this. This Michael Magro Foundation would be a great way to do a pay it forward and say, hey, here, I'm doing it anonymously, but I know good is coming out of this, and it's really helping these siblings. Believe it or not, that $25 gift certificate would have made a huge impact. It would have just made that, it makes that child feel seen and heard. So what you're doing is just magnificent. It's absolutely magnificent. And that, when you're giving these gift cards to these social workers, knowing that they are absolutely giving them to the families is so nice. It's the same way that you said that you pay the vendor directly, so that those bills are being paid, and it's being taken care of. So it's really such a good program that you set up. You really thought of it well rounded, and makes it so easy to contribute to your organization. So with that said, if somebody wanted to donate some gift cards and things like that, they can contact you at michaelmagrofoundation.com.
Yeah, they can email me. It's tmagro@magrofoundation.com, or just the website. My address is where they usually send things to. Sometimes it's easier with a tangible card than the e-cards, depending on people's level of being able to access those things.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a big thing.
But they
That
can
would
pick up a bunch of those cards at like a Costco.
right,
They
right.
sell them in packets where
Mhm.
you can just pick up a bunch of them.
So we're coming into the season of giving, so to speak, right? So Giving Tuesday is the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, and then it's the end of the year, the holiday. Those are all great opportunities to kind of look back and look at your own, wealth, and not even that. It's just look at yourself and say, let me help these people. Um,
Gratitude and blessings.
Gratitude and blessings, absolutely. There's a lot of companies that will do drives. It's like a team building thing within the organization that they work at, and put out something and say, we're gonna collect 25, $50 gift cards, and they'll list them, simple. And I'm happy to have a conversation with people to see, what the company's like and where it would fit and how we're best fit for it. But Visa cards are helpful because then people can do whatever. Target and Walmart are all over the place. So those, they can buy clothes, they can get food. There's, different things that they can do. And of course, Stop and Shop and gas cards and, things like that are great. I like to work with a lot of the younger kids as well, maybe high school level, and get that philanthropy part of their brain functioning a little bit. They don't even realize, that these things are always so needed. But if you embrace them and let them empower them, as you said before, and let them understand that what they can do on such a small level could make such a dramatic difference in another child's life. And who better than a 14-year-old, seventh, eighth grader than, him to buy, or her to buy, a gift card for another 14-year-old that's going through cancer treatment. They know they're in the same world. Their
Yeah.
headset is the same. And it's just great. Things that they think of, I don't think of. I'm not up on a lot of these things. We used to buy games for the systems, for the gaming systems. Now we just do PS5 gift cards. But a lot of these kids would have ideas. We work with a lot of students that have bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, and they'll give us some of their, instead of getting gifts, they'll ask people, would they donate in their name to an organization.
Nice.
Birthdays, holidays. There's, from the youngest to the oldest. The older people, of course, we're asking them to think about plan giving and working with their estate planning people, sponsoring events, doing things of that nature. But we have a whole group of youth that's coming up, and that's really our future. And so if we instill in them that they can do something and make a very big impact with something very small, they can go to Five Below and buy some arts and crafts supplies that we can give to the kids in the hospital. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's great. For $25, they can buy 5 different things to give to a group of kids in the hospital,
Yeah, and it
or the
makes a big
cancer
difference.
treatment.
I know I've always done it with my kids. I was amazed at how many people don't do it in their families. We always did in our family. And just the blessing that we give the children by teaching them that. I work with the Leos because I'm a lion,
Mhm.
as you know,
Yeah,
and I work with the Leos. The Leos is the high school level lion. And they do a lot of fundraising as well. So another place to tap into and to talk to them,
right,
because the Leos do a lot of fundraising, and that is at a level where they understand it's similar to community service.
right.
You're giving
That's
back in a different
exactly.
way. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And at that level too, to your point, is they understand, they recognize, hey, I'm 14, they're 14, they're going through this, I'm not. I have a way to feel empowered to be able to help them. And I think that's a really good character quality that we're teaching our children when we teach them these things. And that's one of the things I know my company does is go out and educate people on the importance of that, of gratitude, of giving back, of doing those kind of things, which is real important. I know you have a fundraiser that's coming up Tuesday, October 29th at the Jericho Terrace. I believe it's called an Evening of Taste. Can you tell us more about that and some of the other fundraisers you do throughout the year? I know you can go on michaelmagrofoundation.com and find out
mhm.
and support and go to the golf outings and things. But let's talk more about this upcoming fundraiser on the 29th of October.
So the tasting event started, one of our first fundraisers, actually. Paul, as you know, Lorianne's a chef.
Yes.
So when
Very
we
good one.
decided that we had to start raising money, and how are we going to do that, fundraising, was the first thing that kind of came to mind, right? So Paul and one of his buddies, Tom Scheidel, who's a well-known chef on Long Island, they
Yes.
came up with the concept because Tom was familiar with helping other hospital pediatric centers with a tasting event. So what we do is we work now with Warriors for a Cause, which is another local group that does a lot of work for Tunnel to Towers. They're a 501(c)(3) also. And I'm a member of that organization. So they're set up so that they can only donate to 501(c)(3). So that's how we work together. And we combined our efforts to this Night on the Town Evening of Tasting. And we bring in about 30 vendors, and those vendors are different restaurants from Long Island. So every 6-foot table is another restaurant. In between, there's a bakery, a wine vendor, there's a full bar, open bar, a band, a DJ, raffles, silent auction items, and sponsorship opportunities. So it's a
That's a
networking and
lot.
just a fun thing going, a lot of things going on, a lot of moving parts. Um, And I'm not very big on those, $1,000 sit down chicken dinner types of fundraisers. I really like people to be involved and be interactive and moving around and talking to people. And it really has paid off because this is like our 17th one that we're doing. So
Wow.
we've been, fairly successful with this. So come out. It supports the restaurants. The restaurants have an opportunity to showcase some of their great food. And then people over the years have learned about restaurants that they never knew were in their own area or close to where whatever area it was in. So come out and support us. There's everything is on the website, as Lorianne said. Sponsorships and ticket price is $150 a person. So you can use the QR codes or just go on the site and register to attend. I would recommend coming with some friends because it's fun to move around with people you know. Dress comfortably, have a little elastic in that waistband because there's a lot of food, a lot of choices, and it's fun. It's just a really fun night. We're very fortunate. Rory Bulliver of Bulliver's Restoration is
Wow.
our honoree this year. He's a fabulous, fabulous guy. He's one of my board members as well. So he's helping reach out with sponsorships, but sponsorships are really important because they help with whatever event is going on, so that money is helping. There's a certain ratio of what you have to spend to put a fundraiser on and what you make. So of course
Right.
you want that profit to be more than 50% of what it's costing you. So sponsorships help in that respect. So
Yeah,
that's
very
that's
much.
always one way. People donate items for raffle baskets, and that's another thing I would be happy to talk to anybody about. There's a lot of companies that do that. They'll embrace different groups within their company to make a raffle basket, and so from start to finish they'll theme a basket, they'll make it. And we do raffle baskets all year long at all of our events. We kick off our fundraiser year in March with a basketball event, a 3-on-3 basketball. We do a car show. We do a golf outing in June. We do a soccer tournament, the tasting. And as we go on, some years we have other things mixed in and other times we don't. But there's also the opportunity for people to put together what is referred to as a third party fundraiser, where they would organize it and we would be the charity that was involved in it. So there are many, many ways to help organizations at whatever level that it's not killing you financially, but being able to get out and to help and to be part of something much larger. Because again, without the donors, the organization doesn't survive and the families don't get the help that they need. So
Yeah,
it's
and
I'm the vehicle, but they're the ones that are doing all of the giving.
yeah, without a doubt, without a doubt. Well, you organize it all to make sure it gets handed out and handled properly, which is a great thing. Again, michaelmagrofoundation.com, and just beautiful work that you do. And it's Tuesday, October 29th at the Jericho Terrace. Fun fact, that's where I got married to my husband. My husband actually now, but my children's father, and it's a beautiful venue. What a beautiful venue. So that's exciting. And it's called Night on the Town, Evening of Tasting. Go to the website, sign up, come and support this organization. Terrie, last thoughts. How else can they take action?
Um, just like us, follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, like and share and make some comments and just try and be, a small part of an ambassadorship where you can make people aware of what the mission and the vision is and let the people be involved and volunteer, and you can call me for things. And there's so many different ways that help can be brought to us. So we just need to brainstorm what makes the people feel the most comfortable. Some
Yeah.
people love to solicit for raffle gifts. Other people are good at doing something else, and whatever that is, that's what we're all about. The more, the merrier.
You're wonderful, Terrie. Thank you so much for being on Healthy Lifestyle with
Thank
Lori.
you, thank you. This was a wonderful, wonderful afternoon with you. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely my pleasure. And thank you for everything that you're doing. You really are amazing. I admire you so much. I don't know if I've ever told you that to your face, but I do. I have great admiration for everything that you do. And I'm always here. Any way I can help, would love to help. In the meantime, thank you all for joining us today. I hope we earned the privilege of your time. Again, I want to thank our guest today, Terrie Magro from the Michael Magro Foundation. Look for our show next Saturday at 3 p.m. on JVC Broadcasting and iHeartRadio. We also can be found on all major platforms and would be so grateful if you please like, follow, share, and subscribe. Please take a moment to join our Take Action community where you can interact with like-minded individuals and have access to tools, giveaways, challenges, and other yummies. Until next time, I am Coach Lorianne, America's #1 Take Action success coach and strategist. Let your dreams be bigger than your fears. Let your life be filled with joy. See you next time. Have a great week. Bye.